Hello. Hello, everyone. I am Jun from Trinity, and good afternoon. First, thank you for joining us in our panel session today. Our theme is Amplifying Innovation, Empowering the Web3 Talent Force. So, I'm your moderator and co-panelist today, and I represent Team Trinity, where we've led numerous projects in Web3 theme, and also we are making Glitch together. So before we jump into our discussion, can you guys give an introduction of yourself from Kevin?
Yeah, it's good to see everyone here today. So I'm Kevin. I'm one of the co-founders of Scaling. I actually jumped into the Web3 space about 7 years ago, 2016. I spent majority of my time growing a team called Band Protocol, where we worked on a decentralized Oracle solution. So I joined them at a pre-product stage. I led them to where they are today, which is a Binance and Sequoia Capital-backed startup with billions of dollars in total value secured. Right now, my current focus is with Scaling. Scaling, you could probably see it all over the banners on your little lanyards. Everything that we do is to support talent, operators, and founders in a space. So just for Glitch, actually, alongside June, we actually ran 2 spring camps, one for designers, one for developers, bringing in over 200 builders into Glitch.
Thank you. Alice, next.
Hi everyone, my name's Alice. I have a few different hats. One, I'm one of the venture partners in Assembly Partners. We are a very young but aggressive and active Web3 native fund. Within 1.5 years, we've already invested in 31 projects and exited in 22. So there's that. And I also founded Tajidao. It's a woman-led Web3 community empowering women in this Web3 space. And I'm also working on TPay with Vince and Cloud. So a lot of exciting things going on. And I'll let Vince introduce himself.
Yeah, hello, I'm Vince. And basically, me and my teammates, we have been developing in Web3 since the first day of Ethereum. We have built 50 plus projects, all kinds of experiments. And some of the most famous ones is that we designed the Avalanche tokenomic, layer 1 tokenomic, and we co-developed and audited the Compound and Aave V2 smart contracts. And also we co-developed the One Finance with NG Guangji. And also that from 2020, I built my crypto hedge fund. And right now it's top 1% on Bloomberg. And I also run the OTC desk right now. Yeah, my focus will be on the TPay. It's a JV entity with the biggest settlement company in Asia. The name is Payment Asia, that we are trying to become the biggest settlement center of fiat and crypto. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, my name is Claude. I'm from France and been in crypto for about a decade. What I've been working on was mostly between consumer side and DeFi side. I did not work much on the infrastructure side, but I've built a few projects, exited one. What we're working on right now is mostly tokenizing debt into interest-bearing stablecoins, in the form of really DeFi permissionless tokens. We're also working with Vince right here on developing infrastructure for mass adoption, because I mean we're both believers that mass adoption can happen, but it's more about like how we can do it. So yeah, we're actually the 3 of us here working on common solutions, really from an infrastructure layer point of view.
Yep. Thank you for introducing yourselves. I heard many interesting backgrounds from finance, VCs, developments, and stuff. Yeah. So our first question is, how is your opinion on the potential of innovation using Web3 technology with your point of view to Web3 market? So our team Trinity believes that all teams need 3 C's to succeed in the market. 3 C's are commerce, community, and content. And in commerce, it leverages the decentralized finance and a payment system. And in community, we have decentralized community like DAOs and Glitch. And content, like the previous session said, the content creators own their own content. So we think that's how Web3 can change the world. But how about you, Kevin?
I think for Web3, it's still really early, right? Like, you've been in space for a decade, but there's still so much more to go. There's still so many people outside this door today that are crypto curious, that are wondering what to build next, what needs to be built. I think the potential for Web3, a common saying is the sky is the limit. I don't think it is. I think it's actually a lot higher than that. But with the right platforms, with the right community support, the right springboards, then we can probably measure what the potential of Web3 is. At the end of the day, from inception to today, it's already been world changing. What could happen in the next 5 to 10 years is probably beyond imagination.
Yeah, thank you. Alice? Yeah, Vince, you can go first.
Okay, yeah. So actually, yeah, like if we look into the history of how internet goes toward mass adoption, China is a very interesting market because WeChat is kind of becoming the killer app. And the reason why it's become like a billion user scale is because it really solves some pain point in our daily life and make our life more convenient and frictionless. So right now, from my point of view, I think that's actually the key problem unsolved for everyone, like travelers to Korea like us. If you look at the spread in every airport, the money exchange, currency exchange, actually the spread is quite high. The money exchange fee is quite high. And if you try to make a payment to a foreign company, the process, the time, the cost, everything is just making our life so difficult and causing a lot of time and effort to find the solution. Yeah, it's just a simple thing to transfer money from A to B. Yeah, but this current financial infrastructure, like all these rules and everything that the bank set up, is actually not really making our life more convenient. So yeah, I really think that with all the amazing innovation in crypto and blockchain technology, payment and cross-border finance might be the killer app that will be able to solve our daily troubles.
Yep, thank you for sharing. And can you share your point?
Yeah, definitely. So coming from the Web2 VC background, I 100% back that we need to really find what solutions that really solve the pain points. And also, are there actual users out there, right? So you can build a beautiful metaverse and NFT, but even Meta would fall. So there are no actual users out there. So that's also why I joined TPay as well. It's because currently everybody's on Telegram, right? And even the active users as of 2023, we already have more than 56 million. And that's like active. It's not like the spammy ones. So I think it's definitely very simple as in a way that it's really solving the pain points and it has active users. It's super easy to understand. It's like solving everybody's daily paying the needs. And also I feel like for other innovation side, there's still that we can work on, like real world assets, but then we will still have to look into the time span, how we are going to build within that. So there are a lot of things that we can definitely talk about in this space, but I really hope it's not like a fancy way, just a fancy duplicate of the current financial system that is actually really solving real problems.
Well, I mean, I will have a point of view that is a little bit like lower level than what my co-panelists have said. I mean, I'm an engineer at first. I didn't mention first, but I'm a distributed software engineer. So I would say that if we want to see where blockchain can go, let's try to see which type of problem it's solving at first. Like when Bitcoin was invented, it was by trying to become a better money. And the whole goal was to have a decentralized network of nodes that enable a faster and better money transfer. So what the blockchain in general tends to solve is a category of problems that have a need for removing a long chain of intermediaries or safeguarding data. So like there's a few type of problems that fall within this category. The first one, obviously, being money, which is why, like, I would agree with my co-panelists here. Yeah, like a better money system is very obvious, and I think this is where most of the innovation will come from in the coming years. Now, if we try to look for where it could go next, like which other problems fall within the category of having a ton of intermediaries for no good reason. You could have maybe safeguarding of medical records. You could have a couple things like digital rights management, a couple things like that, where essentially the same problem. Like you have actor A and actor B that need to have something, but you have like X, Y, and Z in the middle that keep eating some of the fee, not adding much value, and adding some trust in the middle, which was needed when all the information was not moving transparently. Now, if the information can move transparently, and if we have encryption to see that not everybody in the world can see it, and we have a sort of trust in the network that is not going to go down tomorrow, yeah, it opens the door to more systems. I would say that we understand our friend saying, like Kevin saying that sky's the limit, or maybe not, even beyond that. I think like we will often have a tendency to underestimate how broad it can go and overestimate how deep it can go. And I think like, yeah, we should kind of keep our eyes open to see like where are those problems, and maybe the solution is not going to be something too far for each problem, but at least it will like help alleviate a lot of pain points. Like that would be my take.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So you guys talked about the innovations that Web3 builders can do, but now I want to discuss about what capabilities that Web3 builders need to capture that kind of innovation opportunities. Since I am Korean builder, I am going to deliver my point as a Korean. I believe that the most important difference between Web 2 and Web 3 products is that Web 3 products are born to be global. But I think that's one of the weakness of Korean builders, I think. I want more Korean builders to tap the global market by bravely asking for opportunity and networking with global talents over the language barrier. And that's why we hosted Glitch with scaling. And can you guys also share your points about what capabilities that builders need in Web 3 field from Kevin?
Yeah, okay. So over the last 7 years, I've been a two-time founder, a builder, an investor, and an advisor. I think the safe overarching theme is you have to try, right? You have to put yourself in meetups. You have to put yourself in conversations. You have to put yourself in front of people. You need the exposure to Web3 people, to Web3 tech. You have to use the product as well. The capability that you need to be an impactful builder or even a speaker or an investor in a space is you just have to jump into the deep end. And there's no other better way to do this than, let's say for Glitch, right? You have a conference where so many different people are getting together. For example, I think all my panelists here come from different backgrounds, but we're all on the same stage talking about the same topic. At the same time as well, if you're a builder, you're probably downstairs, not here, hacking away at a project. You can try 99 things. All you need is really one thing to work. Give it a go, give it a try.
Yep, thank you. And Alice?
Yeah, I think for the capability of builders, I think it's really important that they keep educating themselves on the multi-chain, because I really don't believe in the competitions between different chains, but it's so oftenly seen. Yeah, so I think it's pointless to have the arguments between different chains, but it would be more open if you can study the difference and how you can integrate in different chains, and also to really focus on the UI UX. That's a huge pain point for a lot of I feel like the builders, they're a very specific creature that they try to build the things out of their imagination, but they're not really sure, as a user, if it's really seamless, if it's really connecting, if it's really speaking to the audience. So it'd be great if they could communicate with other chains and other users out there just to build the product better.
And I think actually projects has two essence. One is idea, the other is execution. Yeah, and if you look into Web2, actually, the execution has a major share. For example, Instagram is just a simple idea of posting photo. Yeah, but the reason why they become so huge is they have a super amazing execution methods. Yeah, in marketing and then production and everything. Yeah, but in Web3, I think the idea takes a bit more share because if you want to build a successful project in Web3, actually you need a very good architect and super good engineer. Yeah, for architect, you will have to really understand and identify the problem, the issue, what you are going to solve, how you're going to solve it, and create a sophisticated structure of the product in the long run. Yeah, and for the engineering part, I think the problem I see in current Web3 market is that most of the developers are not low-level developers like Claude. Yeah, so lots of people did not really understand how to allocate the memory or how the internet protocol works. Yeah, and this is something that if you want to really build a Turing complete product, and also you have to understand about security, that what kinds of like a reverse engineering attack that you might be under attack by the hackers. Yeah, so you have to understand it clearly so that you know how to prevent from it. Yeah, so I really think that the architect and the execution about engineering, yeah, these are two key ingredients for building a long-term sustainable project in Web3.
Yeah, I mean, well, thanks for engineers. Shut up. It's so. I mean, there's a couple things. I mean, I agree with what my couple of have said today. I think what I can add here is that when you look at what makes a founder successful in Web 2 or Web 3, a lot of things are common. So what I will discuss is what is different. I think the first part comes to product development from a different perspective, as one of my friends have said right here. The first is when you work in Web 2, there's a very famous book called The Lean Startup that everybody has been following. Like, you know, you come with an MVP and then you iterate on it, and all of a sudden you have Facebook and it's amazing. Well, it doesn't really work that well in Web3 because your MVP has to be like super safe and secure and will have an amount of scrutiny from people, which is radically different from what it would have in the Web 2 world. Because a user with Web3 app today, as global as we want to be and all that, is still somebody who is in crypto. And people who are in crypto put their money somewhere, not just a click of an app. And then, therefore, they tend to be looking at what they put their money in. Not all the time. We still had Luna and it still crashed a lot. But people in general tend to look a little bit deeper. And at least some people will look and give very harsh reviews of your system and things like that if things are not good. So even a very basic MVP has to be conforming to some things that is a little bit different in structure from what you would be expecting in Web 2. What makes it good and what makes it bad are different. Then the fact that software and blockchain is immutable. You can't update, so it has to be secure from day one. So you need to have founders that are fast to go to market, just because time to market is everything in startup, but are still have enough vision to come early enough, so then counting for auditing cycles and security cycles, they can still hit the market on time. And that's kind of painful. It takes a different type of founder. I know that the people that can think they can hack an app in a weekend feel very disappointed when they come to Web3. They go like, damn, and now we need to audit, and an audit is 6 months to book ahead. It's it's kind of painful. So you have those things. And in addition, there is, in the blockchain community, we have a certain set of ethos, things that are not necessarily written anywhere, but that people tend to respect or expect when they use blockchain software. What should be transparent, what should not be, how the community should be rewarded, where the money should flow. And people who have a total disregard for the blockchain community will have a very hard time. So if you want to see what would take for entrepreneurs to be successful, look at who failed, and you will see a lot of people with a lot of money, guys from Silicon Valley, investors and all that, who didn't really go anywhere, get any TVL or anything, because they just felt they were better than the community, or they did not want to integrate within the blockchain ethos. So I would say, make sure the system are safe and that you understand the values of the blockchain community. It's in the 3 C's that you've seen it. I think community is the one that you really can't overlook.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, let's give another advice to builders. Let's share some thoughts on current shortcomings of Web3 builders. I think it's kind of connected to what Annie said. I think we need more apps with real use cases, and it's what Glitch is for. Our main theme is Web3 in real life. So I think this is because Web3 builders could earn a lot of money before without a solid project, but solely relying on like tokenomics and marketing and stuff. But that's not the case, and everyone knows that that's not the suitable way to earn money and create value. So I think it's a real game time for Web3 builders to make something in real life. So can you share your points about the current shortcomings of Web3 builders from Kevin?
I think the most common shortcoming that I see is a lot of builders tend to chase the next shiny thing or the current shiny thing, what's hyped, what's buzzed, or even worse, they try to predict the next narrative. I think for a lot of people, especially builders, when they come into a cutting edge industry like Web3, it's really easy to just look at it like, hey, I can make a lot of money here if I do well, let me just do what's hot. I think if builders solved simple, if they started from first principles, naturally, if you're providing value to your users, if you're providing value to the people in your community, the money would come. Focus on building a solution to a problem and not a problem to a solution. I believe that's right now, from the investment advisory perspective, probably the biggest shortcoming of builders that I've seen.
Thank you. And Annie?
Yeah, I feel like in general that the most shortcoming is actually from the lack of understanding of how regulation works in each country and how you actually do it with the collaboration, either with the government and also with the banks out there. And just looking at the collapse of the banks recently, it's like we really need to jump up of that, either using a more, I think there are two ways that it's great that you want to focus on the decentralized part and move towards that, but also in a more of a perspective of mass adoption, you should also consider how are you going to cooperate with the current banks, the existing banks and existing government instead of just going forward. Because I think that's what I would see a lot of times in the builder's mind. And I highly appreciate that, and I'm all for decentralization. But I feel like for us to really move forward faster in terms of mass adoption, just cooperating with government, with banks, it's still pretty important.
Yeah, I agree. And also I would like to add some more point of view, which is that I think people's understanding about Web3 sometimes is a little bit limited. Yeah, because like from my point of view, I really think that Web3 is going to change a lot of existing things and structures like government, company, bank. Yeah, especially for the company part. Yeah, like all these Web2 enterprise. Yeah, they just have a headquarters with like tens of thousands employees. Yeah, working there every day, something like that. But the history of the current concept of company is actually invented by Dutch maybe 500 years ago. Yeah, so the company itself is a very, very old tradition structure. Yeah, like the board member, the employees, and everything. Yeah, this is an outdated structure. But yeah, sometimes we already heard a lot of blockchain or Web3 company. They kind of just liquidate the company and becoming a purely DAO. Yeah, so actually, I think that how to really overcome the shortcoming of the Web3 talents is that we should find out the new way. Yeah, maybe even it's a tokenomic or like using GitHub to collaborate on several tasks. Yeah, so how to build the stuff in a more decentralized way to leveraging the talents all over the world in each corner of the world. Yeah, I think it might be the ultimate solution. Yeah, because like Web3 is naturally 24/7. Yeah, so but human cannot work 24/7. Yeah, so it's all about how to build a structure of new way of collaboration and even like a compensation system to really incentivize people to work on the project from different corner of the world.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool. Like just hearing that, I'm like, yeah, like that sounds pretty ideal. I mean, this is close to what some DAOs are using, like to work, right? Like instead of salaries, you have bounties. Instead of a couple things, like our friend Alex does. It's pretty cool. I would say, I mean, I don't think there's a lot that is generally lacking to Web3 founders. I think that we're seeing a new generation of founders are pretty well-rounded, and it's if anything was lacking, it tends to be less and less lacking by the day. So it's great. I think we're in a good trajectory. One thing that I would say is more of a, I would say, type of advice is when looking at blockchain projects, at least today, something that is important not to forget is that, again, like I said a little bit before, unlike Web 2, when everybody can just try your app by just going on a website or downloading something, there's an inherent cost to trying your stuff. So if you're trying to make something between the must-haves and the nice-to-haves, you need to think about, well, you know, like there will be a cost for the person to try out my thing. So even if it's cool, it needs to be like very cool, because people are going to spend like, you know, the transaction fee and this and try to read into it and all that before they even have it. Like the funnel for converting somebody to a Web3 app is pretty hardcore if you think about it. And that's why, I mean, things that have been successful so far tend to be software that help people make more money, because then you start to think in a different way. I spend money X to gain money Y. If Y bigger than X, then maybe I can do it, kind of thing. But if you're trying to go for mass adoption, as we've said, think with a better UX or stuff that is supposedly like nice for everybody, like all the software that we've been talking about, like WeChat and all that, have been designed by giving you like benefits that were not tangible. It's not money. It's just great. It's network access and all that. So those things do not really apply to blockchain software yet. You need to think, at least today, that there is an economic, like an actual cost to trying your stuff. So it's still somewhat restrictive. And I would just urge the builders to be real. Like, as cool as your software can be, just think about the fact that it has a cost for the user. And if you think like that, then maybe you will pick the problems that can be solved today. I really do not think that this is going to be the case for a long time. I just think this is like just now, because there is still a cost and everything needs to be paid for. Little by little is going to be so low that it's going to be negligible, and we're going to be able to forget about this. But we're not there yet.
Thank you. After listening to all like bright futures and roles of Web3 builders, I'm more than thrilled to meet the next generation of web with Glitch, and I want Glitch to join the movement as a helper for builders. And due to time constraints, let's jump into the last question. Can you share a short conclusion about today's theme from Kevin?
I think a good way to conclude today is really just 3 takeaways when you walk out of this room that you could directly action, right? The first one, again, is give it a try, give it a go. Talk to someone. Heck, tap any one of us on the back, and I'm quite sure that we'll be able to make conversation. If anything, if we can't work directly together, maybe even indirectly, we probably would know someone that you could chat to. 2 is solve simple. Don't chase the shiny product. Don't chase what the hottest buzz is. Really identify a crucial problem, build a solution to that, and go hard and go all in. Thirdly is there's no such thing as mistakes. I think failing is very normal. There's only learnings and insights that you can draw from it for whatever you do next.
Yeah, I think for me, it'll be first is always pay attention to the regulations and also the current trend. That is super important. Do not live in your own bubble and trying to create something that the users wouldn't understand. And secondly would be constantly educating yourself. There's so many different technology and chains out there that you can't just limit your goals just in one and just focus on one community. And also third is really to build your community. I think this is actually the core of us all here. Really root in your community and reach it as deep and also as wide as you can. Try to build that the same mission and same vision from that community, and really don't treat your community only as your customers. Really pay the care and pay the attention to find out what they really want and what they really need.
I would like to quote a famous saying from Bill Gates. He said, the world needs banking, but we don't need banks. Yeah, and the core spirit about Web3 is about to empowering individual with the strong enough infrastructure and all the right tools so that you can be your own bank. Yeah, that's you will be able to manage your own assets and participate in the finance, all kinds of financial application without relying on counterparty or third party or middleman. Yeah, so I think it's the key that this trend is definitely on the way of happening. Yeah, and also on the other hand, I also have a personal bet on Telegram and Tong ecosystem. Yeah, also we have been developing Ethereum our whole life. Yeah, but also right now we have several new chains have different features and different strengths. Yeah, however, that we really believe that Telegram and their ecosystem really built the right infrastructure in the right way. Yeah, because I have spoken to the founder of Tong Foundation, Andrew Oracle, several times, and then he shared a bit of his long-term vision is to make Telegram become the app store. Yeah, right now they already have a wallet, and we are building TPay to help them with settlement parts, with fiat, and also payments and all kinds of everything. And also we are also building several DeFi ecosystem together on it. Yeah, so I really would suggest that everyone can spend some time researching on what they are doing and what they are building, because the way they build Telegram in the first day, they make it very privacy-based and freedom, and then also build it in a very decentralized way. Yeah, so I also believe that they are building blockchain, this topic in the right way.
Yeah, it's well, I'm not gonna have a lot to add after all that. A good thing, because we're kind of out of time. I'm just gonna say that I have a slightly different conclusion as our friend Kevin right here. In my opinion, there is such a thing as mistakes in Web3 software when you play with people's money. It is a thing. Like, we should of course encourage everybody to go and build, jump in the water, because this is the first thing and that's the most important thing to do, of course. But just also please be transparent about what you're doing, audit your code. Of course you can have I think what he means when he says there's no such thing as a mistake is probably try anything, try to solve different problems and not only go after the new shiny thing, which makes a lot of sense. But pay attention to what you're building, be responsible. Because again, you're not only making a new app to share pictures of cats in general, right? You would make an app where people pay for something. At least the current meta of Web3 is still that everything is paid for. And as soon as you're touching people's money and that there is some form of trust, not in you, but in your software, well, make sure behave responsibly. And of course, this is the current ethos of the chain, respectful of the community, think about safety. Of course, there can be mistakes, there can be bugs post-audit. Of course, it's not, God is not auditing contracts, but still, at this point, we have a lot of tools. There is fuzzing, there's a lot of things that you can do. And if after all those things, mistakes happen, at least you did your best. So I would say do your best to make sure you're responsible when touching people's money.
Yep, thank you. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. This was today's session, and please give a round of applause for our panelists.